What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the set 2 video with Vader mid-range or Vader ramp here. This is going to be a really fun one. I've been playing a lot with this one, and I just enjoy putting so many resources into play. This has been pretty sweet, and let me know if you enjoy these set 2 videos, and more specifically this one in particular. Also, if you want to pick up any of the cards I'm going to mention today, or the set 2 cards when they come out, I have a TCG player link in the description down below. Be sure to check it out because it helps me out as well as helps you out. And let's talk about Vader midrange or Vader ramp. So here we have a very similar shell as to what we would have had in set 1. We have things like the Seasoned Shore Trooper, the Colonel Lawrence, the TIE Fighters, the Stormtroopers, the Super Laser Techs, the Star Vipers. These are all crucial to keeping us alive. Now, what's a little bit different? Well, we have the Dark Troopers. This just straight up replaces Cell Block card. It gives an extra green card for Colonel Lawrence. It's also just a better Cell Block card. We have 3 copies of Jango Fett, and this is particularly to combo with a Price on Your Head. It's a 3/6, which ends up being pretty powerful in of its own right as 4 resources. It's a much more defensive unit if you don't have many bounties, but we do have, as I mentioned, the Price on Your Head, and this is essentially another resupply if you're able to kill that unit. So with Jango Fett and Price on Your Head, we have a nice ECL into Price on Your Head to give us the ramp and keep a unit around, which is really impressive. It basically guarantees that we're going to be able to kill it. We're also playing some Mauls and some Crate Dragons as top end threats. Normally this Crate Dragon would be something like Relentless, but Crate Dragon ends up just ending the game way quicker because Relentless, yeah, prevents them from playing events, but Crate Dragon just kills them for playing events, which is a lot better because we will be ending the game around turn 7s, turn 8s, usually with a Darth Vader flip. On top of that, we have a copy of Maul, if I hadn't mentioned that already. And overall, the rest of the deck is pretty similar. Interceptors, Traitoresses, Devastators, Darth Vaders, Overwhelming Barrage, all pretty standard. The last card I want to mention is Timely Intervention. This gives us basically the option to ambush any of our plays in the earlier stages of the game. Like if we wanted to ambush out a Phase 3 Dark Trooper, we could do that if they have a Price on Your Head. Or if we wanted to ambush out a Star Viper, allowing us to give a little bit of extra dynamic to the game and also something to play for our resource pile, which is pretty strong. Overall, guys, this is going to be pretty sweet, and ideally, we're going to see some games ended by the Crate Dragon themselves. Let's dive into some games and see how powerful this is. All right, into our game number 1, and this looks like a pretty good hand. We have some top end in Emperor Palpatine and Crate Dragon that we're probably just going to resource, and then we have 1, 2, 3 ramp spells. I think we just resource both of our expensive stuff and then start playing some ramp spells, ramp events, ramp upgrades. What I'm going to do is just pass here, and if they decide to play something, I will just go ahead and play the Price on Your Head on the Reckless Gunslinger or whatever they have, and then we could potentially ECL out our Reckless Gunslinger, which is just insane, to be honest. We also could potentially just play a resupply and then ECL out Super Laser Tech and then deal 1 damage to something, which could be pretty relevant. We will see here. I'm going to go ahead and resource this Timely Intervention, which again, it costs 2 to smuggle. But I think we just go with, if we ECL, we'll be at 5 resources. Yeah, let's go ahead and ECL. And then we get 5 resources. Look at that. That is absolutely amazing. And mind you, because Super Lasers comes into play readied, we get the option of Darth Vading. Yeah, isn't that sick? We get to the option of Darth Vadering something, so we can deal damage to something. But I think that we just claim initiative here and see what we end up doing. Okay, this is a pretty nice one. So we can Traitorous the 5th brother. We can also resupply, Price on Your Head, Darth Vader, kill it. But I think the safest play is to probably just Traitorous the 5th brother and then see what they decide to do, because this allows us to actually kill their Kylo Ren if they end up going for the Kylo Ren. So they're going to Bounty Hunter's Quarry. We're going to pass and see what they decide to do. This allows them to search the top cards of their deck and get some value going. We have a million ramp cards in our hand. We drew so many ramp cards, but the nice thing about it is, well, we have some really powerful top end threats. We're drawing our Death Star Stormtroopers, but this ends up being pretty nice as well. I think we just go with resupply here, and then we can potentially timely intervention out the Yularen or Stormtrooper, or we could just play a price on your head on the fifth brother, and they're saying GG. They're just conceding as we had so many resources, but you can see the power of that. We ECL'd on a super laser tech, and we immediately had 5 resources on turn 2. And that allows us to Darth Vader action. And while I don't think we had an amazing set of cards from our hand, we would have had to draw something. Let's see, from top to bottom, we would have drawn a super laser attack. We would have not drawn much, honestly. Part of the problem with not running an insane amount of high expensive cards, but well, we are very consistent in what we're trying to do, and that worked out quite well. We had the fifth brother. We were going to get Darth Vader down and start beating down with Darth Vader. It would have been pretty sweet, and I don't think their deck could really handle Darth Vader coming down all that early. All right, looks like we're against double green hunter, and this one's pretty interesting because you could kind of go ahead and get some value a little bit later on. But double green makes me think ramp. I think this hand is okay, but I think we could do a little bit better. And this hand looks a lot better. We could have 2 turn 1 plays if we would like them. I think I'll go ahead and resource the Imperial Interceptor and probably the Traitorous, because I'd rather have the guaranteed ramp. And we have 2 ways of deploying units here on turn 1. I'm going to go ahead and get down the Death Star Stormtrooper, because there's a high chance that they play something that I'd rather ping. And if they do so, then I would rather have the Death Star Stormtrooper on the battlefield instead of the TIE Fighter. So we're going to go Death Star Stormtrooper, and we're going to see what they end up playing on turn 1. If they play like a Battlefield Marine, I'm just going to go ahead and play a TIE Fighter. There isn't really a reason to not for me, and I think this is a little bit more valuable, but let's see what they decide to do. They could action and, you know, essentially bounce the resources to play, and, well, go ahead and draw a card, essentially. So that could be kind of nice, but they didn't. Here we have Death Star Stormtrooper, we have a TIE Fighter, so we're putting on some pressure, and then we have a resupply, and we also have a super laser tech. But I think here I actually resource the resupply, because I think I'm going to play a super laser tech out this turn. And I'm curious what they're going to play here. Very curious. I could ECL out a super laser tech. I'm not interested necessarily in doing that, but we will see. I'm going to go ahead and hit them for 2 here. I think I will kill their Colonel Yularen, potentially. They're going to pass. All right, let's go ahead and play a super laser tech, because it looks like they have something to do. Not sure what, though. For 1 resource, I'm not even sure what you could do. All right, we're going to go ahead and just hit their base for 3. They're going to play a Maz Kanata. All right, sure. I don't think this worked out nearly as well as they were hoping for, because we're just going to kill their Maz Kanata with our super laser tech and get the resource for us. And if they had just played Maz Kanata, if I had killed it with my Death Star Stormtrooper, like, who cares? Because they traded a 1-drop for a 1-drop, but in this case, super laser tech didn't have a way to trade, and I was probably going to hit the Colonel Yularen anyways. But this ended up working pretty nicely. We can get this off the battlefield and hope to not get any sort of massive Maz Kanata going. Oh, I suppose they disconnected. All right. Well, you know, sometimes you just dominate, I guess, and your opponent just leaves. Cool. All right, on to game number 3, and I think we can do a little bit better than this hand. I'm looking for ramp cards, of course, and this is actually a really, really nice one. So we have the combo of Jango Fett plus, you know, the price on your head. Here, though, I think I resourced the TIE Fighter and the Seasoned Shore Trooper. It seems a little counterintuitive, but I'm relying on my opponent to actually play a unit here. And if they don't, I'm fine with that, because I'm, you know, ramping. Oh, they have a Spark Rebellion. Okay, so that's kind of unfortunate. They're going to get the resupply. We could just claim initiative. So Spark Rebellion turn 1 also works for us, to be honest, because like we are the ramp deck. So getting the option to kind of stall out the game is fine. And we should be able to go ahead and have a lot of value later on in the game. Of course, they might be playing some pretty high value stuff in their own deck. We'll see. They're going to play another Spark Rebellion. So they have double Spark Rebellion. That's fine. We are just going to claim initiative. They're going to take the Jango Fett so that we couldn't go ahead and kill it with, you Jango Fett. Here, I think we resource the Traitorous as we're looking to actually defeat Chopper here. So I can go ahead and potentially play a Phase 3 Dark Trooper, but I think it's more worthwhile to just go ahead and play the second price on your head, because next turn, we could ECL out the Phase 3 Dark Trooper, give it an experience token, and be able to go ahead and get 2 resources, which puts us up to 7, which is just kind of absurd, to be honest. So they took the double, they took a bunch of stuff, bunch of garbage from our hand, but it doesn't matter. Like, Spark Rebellions against us, who cares? Took a Jango that took a resupply, it doesn't matter. We ECL this guy out, kill the Chopper, get 2 resources. We're up to 7. We can deploy Darth Vader this turn, and my oh my, is that simply amazing. I'm going to claim initiative here. They can make an opening. Who cares? We are going to go ahead and Darth Vader. The fact that they make an opening there doesn't do anything besides heal them. In fact, it does literally nothing because they had a shield token on their Ezra, so I'm not actually sure why. They had a repair off the top, so they played a repair, and they got to heal damage. All right, I mean, they look to be a little bit more controlling than us, for sure. They cannot put a shield token on Ezra. I think that's what they're trying to do, but they cannot. The reason why I decided to go ahead and pass instead of deploying Darth Vader is because if we deploy Darth Vader there, we don't actually get a ton of value. And instead, I can just go ahead and deploy this Darth Vader, potentially ambush, or Emperor Palpatine. And I think I want to go with Emperor Palpatine here and then just deal 6 damage to Ezra, get him off the battlefield. Now I have a 6/6 overwhelm, and then I can get Vader down, have a 5/7 or a 5/8. I could deal some damage. And the next turn I go Darth Vader plus Seasoned Shore Trooper. Like, we are starting to get really ahead of this game because of the double price on your head. And look at that. If those price on your heads were just some random other card, we would be so much worse off. And it looks like they're, going to make us discard and exhaust something? Like, this is... Okay, they're playing a cunning to maybe kill our Darth Vader before it comes down. Or if they're unlucky, they hit the Shore Trooper, and then they're really messed up next turn. I mean, we are so far and away ahead that I'm really not worried about the game at all. I mean, we have a Palp and a Vader leader on the battlefield. We have a Darth Vader in hand. They hit a Seasoned Shore Trooper. Like, that's totally fine. Playing a cunning on an empty board on your side of the battlefield doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And we could just kill the Luke here, which I will do. I think that's very much worthwhile. And they could take initiative, sure. And oh my gosh, Crate Dragon into Devastator. Do I resource the Darth Vader here? I think I do. I think it's time for a Crate Dragon. Okay, we have a Crate Dragon coming down, and I am excited about it. I think the Devastator is also better than Darth Vader because it's going to come down next turn. So we get to go Crate Dragon into Devastator. Ooh, I love this deck. I absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and play Attack with Emperor Palp. We play a Crate Dragon, and I guess I should have played the Crate Dragon before attacking, so that way if they played a Yoda, we get to hit their base for 3. They claim initiative. We have a bunch of good stuff. We just drew Darth Vader, so now we get to go Devastator into Darth Vader. We resource the Jango Fett here. And if they have like a Vanquish, they still get their base hit for 5, and then we can kill their Yoda to deal 2 to them. And that's basically their entire turn. Like, we are cruising. Let me just say that. We are cruising. They're going to hit us for 2. All right, we're going to hit them for 10. Crate Dragon ends the game very quickly, and if they don't do anything here, then we are going to take initiative potentially and just win the game. Like, Crate Dragon's a 10-10. My goodness, this deck is absolutely disgusting. They claimed initiative. Oh my goodness. Do we do anything? Like, they could have I don't even know what they could have. I guess we play a Devastator and kill their Yoda, and now we have 2 threats that just one-shot them, and we don't even have to play anything into our resource pile. My goodness. That was disgusting. The double price on your head with the ECL'd Phase 3 Dark Trooper was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, we have 2 lethal threats right now. And if they play anything, they get hit for a ton of damage. They basically just attacked and did nothing. Yeah, we get to hit them for 3 and then we get to kill them. GG. Look at that game time from us. Why? Because our deck, very simple. Ramp, play big things, win game. I love it. All right, on to our next game. And while we don't have any ramp in hand, I think this is the type of hand that really does deal with Sabine Green quite well. Because we have the Death Star Stormtrooper turn once, we can trade with whatever they have and potentially ping something off. We have the ECL Consortium Star Viper, which is one of the most important plays that you could make with the the Sabine Wren's decks, right? You just kill something, you get to really just absolutely decimate your opponent in terms of value. Here, I mean, we could ECL the Alliance X-Wing. I think it's worthwhile. That way we just remove any sort of wing leader potential and we heal up the 1 damage they dealt to our base. And if they have nothing else, we could just take initiative and potentially just heal up some more next turn. Here, I just killed a Battlefield Marine. I'm just going to try with any unit that I could possibly see, as we have so much more value in our deck than them by a large margin, like not even close. Here, I think I resourced the Colonel Yularen. It just makes a little bit more sense. It's the least valuable play here. The Super Laser Tech can bring us closer to the higher drop plays, and the Sabine Wren comes down this turn. So we're going to kind of see what they decide to do here. Traitorous also pretty relevant here. I'm going to put the Phase 3 Dark Trooper down. This gives us Sentinel, and Sabine Wren cannot get through it, so they need something to actually get through the Phase 3 Dark Trooper. So we prevent a lot of damage from Sabine Wren this turn. They could have a Wing Leader here, and if they do, then it's a little bit unfortunate. But I can use the damage to kill Wing Leader, deal 1 damage to their base, and they're left with a 4/5 X-Wing, which is good. But we could also just hit their base with our Star Viper, and we can Traitorous their X-Wing next turn. So I don't think I'm that scared. And yes, they could deploy Sabine, but I'm trying to think of any 2 resource plays that they can make, and it's really not that great, to be honest. They're undoing what they were trying to do. It looks like they were trying to activate. They passed. Okay, they went ahead and played Sabine, and they, oh my gosh, they are just hitting our Phase 3 Dark Trooper. That seems really sad for them. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Okay. We have a Interceptor. I think I resourced the Super Laser Tech at this point. Price on your head is a little bit cheaper. And we can go Interceptor, kill your X-Wing, kill your Sabine with Darth Vader action. I mean, this game looks totally over for Sabine. Like, not even close. This game was not even close. They have an ECL. They could have like a Steadfast Battalion. Oh my gosh. They are just ECLing K2SO out. That is miserable for them. All right, we're going to go Imperial Interceptor, kill your X-Wing, kill your Sabine Wren. I mean, this game looks completely over for them. Sure. And we just drew Crate Dragon Devastator. I think we can get rid of the Devastator here. I would like to play the price on your head and try to ramp, so try to get some value going. They play a General Dodonna. Okay, let's go ahead and just play a price on your head on that thing. And if they have nothing else, then that's fine. We're going to deal 1 damage. We're going to hit with Consortium Star Viper. We're going to hit with Imperial Interceptor. And we are going to pass because we have nothing else to do. When we drew a Maul. All right, Traitorous is looking pretty bad here, but we can go ahead and flip Darth Vader into Darth Vader or into Maul or into an Overwhelming Barrage. They get to go ahead and get a General Dodonna out, but I think we just deploy Vader here and see what they decide to do, because if they have nothing else, we can just win the game. And it looks like that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to win the game. If they action with Sabine, we kill them with Darth Vader. And, oh, okay, we're just going to kill them. Nice. Cool. GG. Sabine Green, absolutely decimated. Wasn't even close. I mean, the Consortium Star Viper ECL usually is a pretty good play, and that's usually how Darth Vader typically wins. This game wasn't really different from a normal one. I take that back. Actually, Phase 3 Dark Trooper was absurd, because not only did we get the option of bricking a Sabine Wren, like if that was a cell block guard, for example, if that was a cell block guard, they hit it with Sabine Wren if they want to. we don't get an experience counter. They can ECL at a K2SO, and they kill it while overwhelming 1 more damage and keeping K2SO alive, which is absurd. Like, that difference is absolutely massive, right? Phase 3 Dark Trooper is a massive upgrade in this deck. On to our next game here. I'm losing track of how many games we've played, but Hera Red is usually not what you see, as you can leverage the double green from Hera, typically for a little bit more value. I decided to mulligan my first hand. We had only turn 2 plays. This hand, equally as good or bad if you look at it, to be honest. We don't have a turn 1 play, but at least we get to resource some of these timely interventions. I haven't actually needed to use this card yet because, well, it's been pretty just straightforward going this entire game, and they play Sparkle Rebellion. That is absolutely perfect. I absolutely love that. I love when people take the resupply as well, as like that's like the card that they need to get rid of, like, because that's what our game plan is doing. But to be honest, I'm really not that worried about not having a resupply. Like, my text turn play was going to be Consortium Star Viper almost assuredly, because we were going to play Star Viper, take initiative. And if you could take initiative with Star Viper on the battlefield, it is so powerful, because it just stalls out the game to ridiculous amounts. Here we can go Seasoned Shore Trooper, I think, resource, and we can just get in with the Consortium Star Viper. I can also play a Phase 3 Dark Trooper and a Death Star Stormtrooper, so we can actually start flooding the board, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not really worried about what they're doing over there. Playing a Spark Rebellion is really not that big of a deal. Okay, Imperial Interceptor looks pretty good here. I can also just go Phase 3 Dark Trooper and Death Star Stormtrooper, and I think I'd rather do that. We can keep the Consortium Star Viper around. It doesn't need to actually start hitting. So let's just play a Death Star Stormtrooper, and I am loving our spot here. I think I resource the Imperial Interceptor here. Or maybe I just resource the price on your head. I think I actually resource the Imperial Interceptor. I want to go Overwhelming Barrage. I think this turn I played a Kanan Yaris. Okay. That's not a big deal, to be honest. Let's go ahead and I think we just So this is a 4/6. Let's go ahead and hit the Bright Hope. I like doing this because, okay, Force Throw. They're going to target me. Okay, they will get a price on your head, and they can deal 2 damage to something. They probably kill the Consortium Star Viper, to be honest. But the way this works is they're going to deal 2 damage to the Phase 3 Trooper. That makes pretty little amounts of sense. I think we just go Overwhelming Barrage on the Death Star Stormtrooper, and we deal 3 on Bright Hope to Kanan Jars. Oh, it says it showed a discard resupply. That's weird. Yeah. I guess unlucky. You know, sometimes that happens. They have a Hera. They give an experience token to Kanan. We can just kill Hera. And I think we'd want to do that. No, I think I just kill the Kanan. And then we could, well, I guess they're doing it for us. Sure, they take 5 on their Hera. Like, this seems pretty brutal for them. Here we could resource a Crate Dragon, or rather have a Maul in hand. The resupply can do some work here potentially, and we get to take initiative. So the fact that they ended up attacking our Death Star Stormtrooper means that we are 4 more HP. We also have initiative, and we have the ability to, you know, have 5 damage on Hera, which is really nice. So now we can deploy Vader and get rid of Hera and kill something, ideally. And that's probably what we're going to want to do. Then we have the follow-up with Maul, which is going to be pretty nice. We're pretty low on cards now, but depending on how good this Ewing reinforcements is, means that we win or lose, or are in a winning position or a losing position. I think we're pretty heavy winning position now. Okay, Bright Hope. Yeah, not amazing, I'd say. They can bounce an Echo-based defender to draw an additional card. If they do that, I'm not super scared because we get to deploy Darth Vader. My suggestion for them would be to probably attack Vader with Hera. And if they do so, we have an easy response and we just take initiative and then ambush the Echo Base Defender. If they don't hit Darth Vader, we can kill Echo Base Defender and Hera. Oh, they target. Okay, so they targeted the energy conversion lab. Yeah, that. Whoa. I meant to deal 2 damage to the Hera. Let's see. They claim initiative. We pass because we don't have initiative, so we can't heal. We have a price on your head. We have a Devastator. I just resourced the price on your head. Not exactly relevant in this game. We have a Maul. If they have another Ewing reinforcements, that could be really nice. We haven't used ECL yet. They have a Home 1. All right. Home 1's pretty good. Home 1 is pretty good. They get their Echo Base Defender back. We ambush with Maul. And then we get to go ahead and hit their Bright Hope for 2. And while they are doing quite nicely for themselves, I mean, oh my gosh, we just drew kind of the nuts here. We resource one of them. We have an Emperor Palp here. That's really, really nice. So, I mean, okay, they're going to Mace Windu. What are they killing? Okay. They killed off our leader. We get to go kill Mace Windu and deal a bunch to Bright Hope. So we deal 2 and then 4. And I imagine they're just going to hit our base here with Bright Hope. No, they're going to go for the high value play. All right. Them doing this is really nice for us because we just get to drop a Devastator and kill their Home 1 next turn. Really, really kind of awkward play, I'd say. We get to just nuke their Home 1. And now we have a Sentinel 1010 in space. We could have, potentially ECL'd out a Seasoned Shore Trooper at some point, or we can in the future. But, I mean, we are in a really good, nice position here. We drew some really nice cards there. They had a really nice curve as well. They get to kill my Maul with an open fire, it looks like. And they're going to play a Ghost, which means that they can give a shield token to itself. And they give one to nothing else. Okay. Sentinel in space. Quite nice, I'm not going to lie. So they can, if they hit Devastator, we just win. All right, well, they made a mistake. They can't do that. Because now we just attack them for approximately 1 million and win the game. Cool. Devastator. Nice little finisher, guys. GG. All right. Pretty nice from Vader Green. I was a little bit worried there with they had a really nice curve. And they had a lot of top end power. Like they had the Mace Windu, the Ewing reinforcements, and the Home 1, all of which are pretty strong in that type of scenario. And they also had the Kanan plus Hera kind of combo on that turn, but we ended up just outvaluing them in the long run, which is kind of what the deck's designed to do, right? We had the Maul, we had the Vaders, we didn't even ramp at all, really, except for the 1 resupply, which is pretty sweet. So very nice against the red-green Hera deck. On to the next game, and here we have a pretty nice hand, and I think we go ahead and resource the Yularen, and I think we also resource maybe the Emperor Palpatine in this spot, because we do have a nice little curve, and I think I just want to deploy out a Seasoned Shore Trooper immediately. This allows us to potentially kill off whatever unit they have if we want to, and if we wait for them, like if we pass here and they go do nothing, then we are in a much worse position than just playing out a 2-costed unit, because we could have, right, with the price on your head, but we don't want to necessarily. I want to go to resource the phase 3 Dark Trooper here, mainly because I think I'm gonna probably ECL at a Django so I can get this price on your head potentially some value. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit their base here. Scout Bike Pursuer, there's not really a huge reason to be trying to get some more value out of hitting it maybe 2 turns in a row or something. That just seems like a miserable experience. Let's claim the initiative here. We can put a price on your head on oh my gosh, we have 2 of them now. think we resource the interceptor, and I think we double price on your head the Scout Bike Pursuer. And this allows us to, well, if they hit the super laser tech and they just allow us to trade with it, that's fine. We're going to ECL to Jango Fett. It is almost certainly what we're going to be doing. And so even if they buff this up, there's not really a way they can get rid of this. Okay, they're going to hit the Seasoned Shore Trooper. So we have double price on your head, which means we are going to be up to 7 resources if we are able to kill this Scout Bike Pursuer. Oh, so they have a Gideon here. Okay, Gideon's quite good. They're going to hit that, sure. We are going to probably just claim initiative here. So I could have hit the Scout Bike Pursuer. It's a little bit tricky, right? It's a little bit tricky because if we hit the Scout Bike Pursuer, they would have gotten experience to Scout Bike, and then it would have done kind of the same thing. But here we can go Overwhelming Barrage, and we just deal 3 here. And then, wait, I wanted to deal 1 here, 3 here. There we go. That's better. That was a little bit strange, as it didn't really work properly. But now we can go ahead and trade our Super Laser Tech for their Gideon as well. And we have double Jango in hand, which is not great by any means, but this allows us to deploy our Vader here into their Director Critic potentially. But I mean, look at this. Boom. We're up to 8 resources now, and that gives us a lot of late game potential. Let's get Director Krennic out, and let's see what they've got. They could ECL something out, but we just killed Director Krennic here. Cell block guard. Okay. I mean, we just kill these 2 units instead, which is also fine. They're going to hit Vader. Sure. Let's claim initiative, as we can ECL something out. Oh, even better. We drew Darth Vader. Fantastic. We're just going to play a Darth Vader, and I think I'd rather look. And then we get a Phase 3 Dark Trooper. Perfect. Perfect. We killed the Krennic. We keep our Vader alive, and we have a Phase 3 Dark Trooper. Yeah, sure, takedown. No big deal. I mean, we just get to claim initiative. We have a really nice board state, and we are kind of decimating the Vader Krennic Green right now. Of course, this could change very quickly. Never mind. It's not going to change very quickly, guys. We drew a Crate Dragon. We drew a Crate Dragon. They could have an Overwhelming Barrage here, and that is something to pay attention to, because even though I could play Crate Dragon to hit them for any damage that they could deal, I'd rather hit them for 5 here, just in case they have an Overwhelming Barrage for my Phase 3 Dark Trooper, my Darth Vader. Looks like they have a takedown here. That's fine. We're going to hit them for 3 as well. They're going to claim initiative. We are going to drop a Crate Dragon, and we are going to pass. And we are very much excited about the next turn. So, of course, we could have played the Crate Dragon, but again, if they had Overwhelming Barrage, yes, we hit them for 8, but we hit them for 5 anyways with Darth Vader. And then we could have played Crate Dragon in case they played something, but I'm a little bit worried about the Overwhelming Barrage in these spots, so I'd rather get in the damage when I can, and... or not Overwhelming Barrage, Super Laser Blast. If I'm saying Overwhelming Barrage, I'm sorry. It's Super Laser Blast is what I was considering. Okay, they conceded. Cool. Absolute decimation for Krennic Green. Not even close, realistically. Like, the double price in your head was absurd. Like, this giving us the resources that we need to play basically anything in our deck. And yes, they had the Gideon, which was pretty good there. And they could have maybe done something differently, like try to attack in with Gideon instead of playing a unit and get some extra damage in, or maybe they had some other thing to protect the Gideon. But I mean, look at what we just did to them. That was ridiculous. Like, that was so good. It wasn't even close. All right, on to our probably last game. Depends on how much fun I have here. We're not going to mulligan this. This seems like a pretty reasonable hand. I think I resourced the Seasoned Shore Trooper and one of these interceptors. They're playing Leia Green, which means they have to have a turn 1 play. If they don't, then we are pretty heavily advantaged, I'd say. So I'm going to go ahead and pass here. Normally, again, against some decks that kind of don't care about the turn 1 play, I wouldn't make this play, but here we get to go price on your head. So turn 1 ramp, we get to go pass and ECL out a phase 3 Dark Trooper, and which becomes a 3-2, and we get to ramp all in the same turn. So very, very happy with how this ended up turning out. Okay, they ended up going ahead and playing something that buffed up the Rebel Pathfinder, which is fine, because we get to go potentially, Jango Fett ECL'd into the Rebel Pathfinder. Remember, this thing has Saboteur, so we can't actually prevent it from attacking us, but that's okay. Here's a resupply. I think we get rid of it at this point, but the ECL'd Jango Fett is actually going to kill the Rebel Pathfinder, ramp us, and get us to a point where we don't have Jango Fett defeated. Like, that's absolutely amazing. And we get to draw a card. Just a little added bonus there, if you weren't excited about it already. Let's claim initiative here. I know this seems like a little bit weak, like a little bit of a weak play, but the nice thing about it is we have the Overwhelming Barrage in hand. And so we could Overwhelming Barrage, kill both their units with the phase 3 Trooper, and then set up for a really nice kind of absolutely just wipe your entire board type situation. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to just go ahead and 3-2 kill both their units. And now we are in a heavily advantaged situation, because check this out. We get to kill their Battlefield Marine and go ahead and get a counter on the phase 3 Dark Trooper, and it doesn't even die. Like, yeah, hit my phase 3 Dark Trooper, sure. Like, who cares? You just lose your Leia. Like, okay, if you'd like to, go for it. I don't think you'd want to, though. Don't think you'd like to. Let's see. We resource the Timely Intervention. Seems great to me. We can play an Imperial Interceptor, or we could just play Darth Vader. I think the Darth Vader play looks the most appealing. You know what? I disagree with that. We can potentially Timely Intervention out the Death Star Stormtrooper, which is pretty awesome, right? Timely Intervention out the Death Star Stormtrooper to kill the Leia if she attacks like Jango or something. Okay. I think our opponent DC'd, it looks like. I think our opponent has given up on existence. Oh, nope, they're back. Okay, sweet. So we can Timely Intervention out the Leia. I think that's what we want to do. Wait, can I play it? Oh. Nice. There we go. I was like, how can I Timely Intervention out the Death Star Stormtrooper? It's not working. All right, our opponent's like reconnecting, disconnecting, reconnecting. Never mind. They didn't give up. They're still here, but they're just struggling a little bit. Really nice. We've cleared the entire board, and we have 2 reasonable threats. We also have a Darth Vader to follow up, and we have the Vader to deploy. So we are looking pretty nice. Hopefully our opponent can reconnect at any point here so that we can play the rest of our Star Wars Unlimited match. But, I mean, this game looks kind of over with. They're going to claim initiative. We get to go ahead and deploy Vader, attack. We will not deal 2 damage to something, and then we will pass. And now we can probably resource these TIE fighters. They're not exactly super exciting. I'd rather have a Death Star Stormtrooper, generally speaking, because it just kills more things. But, I mean, I don't really know how they're going to win this game at this point. I don't really see double green Leia pumping out some like amazing threats. Like U-wing reinforcement here would be pretty good. They could hit something like double Battlefield Marine Akbar, and they can kill Jango Fett. But, I mean, they have double Battlefield Marine Akbar. Like, that doesn't really do a whole lot, especially since we have a Darth Vader follow-up and a Death Star Stormtrooper follow-up. So we can just kill Akbar, and we can kill like a Battlefield Marine potentially. Like, there's just so many different options that we have. Or they could just go all space, like Consortium Star Viper. Like there's a lot of different things that could happen with the U-wing reinforcements, of course. But that's like the best play I could see them making this turn. And if that's the case, then, well, I think we're heavily advantaged at this point. And man, this deck has been absolutely steamrolling. Like, yeah, there have been some close games and close calls, and but I mean, I suppose they didn't have like the strongest start, right? Like Rebel Pathfinder and X-Wings, like these are not the strongest plays to make for sure. Fleet Lieutenant Wing Leader, I mean, all those have been pretty good for sure, but I mean, this is just like Bright Hope, like sure, Bright Hope, you got one. It doesn't really do a whole lot. I will be playing Vader this turn, no doubt about it. Bright Hope's not scary at all. They have disconnected. They are continuing to disconnect. I'm not sure how you disconnect so much on that Carabas, to be honest. Maybe their internet's just bugging out. Maybe it's like raining, thunderstorm, lightning struck, and they're trying to finish the Star Wars Unlimited game and they cannot. Pretty funny, man. Pretty funny. I hope that we can see what they have and we can just finish this game. I want to get this last W before I end this video. I've had so much fun with this deck, guys. This is like, of all the ones I've played so far, like I've played some Boba Yellow, I've played some Triple Dark Raid Boba, I've played some Rey, I've played Kylo, I've played all the new leaders, but most, like the videos I've done at least, of all the videos I've done, this is by far my favorite deck so far. It is just so powerful, so fun, very consistent, especially with all the ramp that you have, and the ability to resource whatever you choose to, and then have things like the timely intervention come in is pretty nice. Looks like they left the game, but I mean, based on what's, you know, in the game, I think that we would have won anyways. So kind of sad end, but let's talk about what we learned. All right, so what did we learn from Vader ramp? Well, basically every card in this list has pretty much served an excellent purpose, right? The 3 super laser techs, the resupplies, and the price in your head are obviously core to the deck. Those are what make the deck function. And unlike the set 1 Vader, you're missing these 3 additional copies of price on your head. And you might think like, oh, well, how are you actually going to activate it, right? How are you going to claim that bounty? If you saw, like, ECL basically makes that bounty claimable whenever you want. That's where Jango Fett came in. You saw a couple times where Jango Fett was actually crucial because any of the other cards that we ECL'd out without being 7 drops, for example, or whatever, that already have ambush, that is how we deal with those higher power or higher toughness units. Of course, the standard Stormtrooper, Star Viper, Shore Trooper, Yularen, all pretty important. Same with the Interceptor to get us to that point so we could play our 7 resource plays or 9 resource plays and whatever. Phase 3 Dark Trooper, guys, I played a lot with this card. I played it in Palp, I've played it in Vader, I've played it with Boba Green. This card is nuts. And you saw it a few times there where we would like Overwhelming Barrage, kill a bunch of things, hit something with 3 power, get an experience token, kill that unit, and then it stays alive. The difference between this and Cell Block guard is massive, like absolutely massive. Ambushing a Sabine Wren makes it a 4-powered unit, which is incredibly important for things like K2SO and things like that. This card is an absolute all-star. The timely interventions, while niche, they are pretty useful. Again, it just gives you a little bit extra value in your resource pile. Now, you might not even need that in Vader. I think the 2 cards that are probably the most lacking in this deck are the TIE Fighters and the timely interventions. Generally speaking, the TIE Fighters are just a way that we can get a nice turn 1 play while also activating our action with Darth Vader, which can be super relevant. We didn't fight against the Greedos or like Death Star Stormtrooper decks, but that's where TIE Fighter becomes really relevant because you get a body and you get to kill one of their units, right? That's when it becomes so absurd. Same with Stormtrooper, but it's a little bit more sideboard potential. And instead, I think I would rather have had maybe like Escort Skiff or some other way to trigger ambush or trigger ECL in the earlier stages. Like a copy of Rook or 2 instead of TIE Fighter, I think would have gone really well in this deck because it gives us a guaranteed kill with price on your head, similar to how Jango Fett works, right? Like if they have a price in your head, and you have a Jango, it's going to die almost certainly on turn 3. There's not basically anything that can stop that. Like, even if they go like Guardian of the Wheels, Jedi Lightsaber, turn 1, turn 2, and they play, I guess if they play like multiple Jedi Lightsabers or like multiple upgrades, then they might have a shot at living, but that's really rare. And that's where Traitorous comes in, right? We've seen, or at least I have seen in the set 2, a lot of upgrade style of decks. So I think Traitorous has gone up and up and up in value, especially when you're seeing things like Rey upgrade all their units or Gar Saxon getting some upgrades to earlier game units. It makes Traitorous so much more appealing because they upgrade these earlier units, and normally trade racing an early game unit later on is pretty mediocre and it doesn't trade with anything. Well, instead, with the upgrades, it actually does trade, and Traders was pretty relevant in a couple of those games there. And of course, it wouldn't be a proper breakdown if we didn't talk about our top end Maul and Crate Dragon. Guys, Crate Dragon just ended the game. Every single time it came down, it just finished out the game. You do have to be somewhat careful about this card, as I, generally speaking, think you should be playing it immediately rather than attacking in most cases. However, if they have a Super Laser Blast, then you should, or potential for Super Laser Blast, then you should maybe reconsider, like, for example, against that Krennic Green opponent. Some Krennic Green players do play Super Laser Blast, so you might want to be careful about that. And then, of course, Maul. I mean, Maul was excellent in this deck. I still think Darth Vader's a little bit better. Okay, and the main reason for that is we have targets like Phase 3 Dark Trooper now, which makes Darth Vader even stronger. But I think Maul, even if you didn't have the Underworld unit, I mean, just a 7/6 ambush overwhelm is massive. Emperor Palpatine, still extremely relevant, and in some cases, Emperor Palpatine is even stronger than Maul because you can kill the space units and just divide up your damage as you choose, and that is extremely powerful. But overall, guys, this is my favorite deck of set 2 so far. I've played the aggressive decks. I've played all these other decks. The fact that you can consistently ramp while also getting all your threats out and having these way higher powered units, it has been really powerful. I will say, if there's a huge aggro meta, which is very possible, then this deck might be a little bit more tuned towards beating that, because right now, you know, things like, well, Mauls and Crate Dragons and Devastators aren't necessary to win against it. However, if you deposit in, or not deposit necessarily, but put in a bunch of more early game threats and things that can trade with and earlier ambush units, then you can easily beat them. And we saw that in a couple of those games. So let me know what you think about Vader ramp in set 2, guys. This has been pretty sweet. Again, absolutely amazing deck and super fun. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you again tomorrow for another video.